This is creating step 4 and 5. So we're going to begin by create a new query and design view that is based on table inventory. So let's do that. Create query and design based on inventory. Right? Add. Close, because that's all I need. I'm going to open this up. Alright, so display, inventory ID, price, and a new calculated field called new price. So when we begin a calculated field, we come to the next to cell in the grid. I always click and then I right click and zoom. That way I can see my formula, and then I make it bigger just because my eyes are bad. But I find it so much easier to do the formula in the zoom window than trying to do it in this tiny little box here. So that was a right click, zoom. So now it's going to be called, the new calculated field is called new price, colon. So what's left of the colon is the name of the field, what's right of the colon is the equation. The new price should be 25% more if the book is out of print and 10% more if not. So you have to do an if, right? We have two conditions that we need to do. It needs to be 25% more if it's out of print and 10% more if not. So to do an if, it's the immediate if, okay? And then a parentheses. So what we're checking is out of print, right? That's the field that we're checking, out of print. So if out of print is yes, oh, and I already have the round in here. We're going to take price times 1.25. You know what, let me take this round out of here. So let me take that out because we haven't done that yet. Okay, so what we're saying here is we're looking at the field out of print. If it is set to a yes, and if we read this, if it's out of print, where'd we go? If it's out of print, it should be 25% more. So we take the price times 1.25 because we're increasing the price by 25%. When you're increasing a price, you put a 1 point and then whatever the increase value is. So that's the true condition. We're raising the price, the new price, by 25% if it's out of print. If it's not out of print, if that field says no, then we're only raising it by 10%. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do okay, and I'm going to run it, and then here's our new price. So it's 6.69, and here's the new price of 7.13. So let me put in here this out of print field just temporarily. So I'm going to run it. So here's our check. So we could take a calculator and say, okay, this one's not out of print, so this is only going to be increased by 10%. This one's out of print, so it's going to be increased by 25%, right? So I can validate my data that way. I'm going to go back to design, and I'm going to just remove that because I don't need it anymore. All right, so both values should be rounded to the nearest dollar. So we need to put a round in there. So we're going to zoom back out there. And so in front of this yes condition, I'm going to put round, parentheses, come over here, comma, and it says no decimals. So I'm saying round the answer to 0. Then I'm going to come here and do round, comma, 0. And then I have to put another parentheses. So now let's run it. And there it is. It's rounded to the dollars. All right, but we're not quite done yet. So if we look at 5, format the new price as currency. So while I'm on here, I'm going to go to my property sheet, format, currency, and then run it. There we go. I can then save it as QRY new price rounded and then close out the query. All right, thank you.